Dukascopy TV at the IFX Expo in Cyprus 2014. With the help of our partners, we are asking the industry elites for their insider info. Joining me in the TV booth right now is Ofer Friedman from AU10TIX. Ofer, thank you for joining us today.
Gladly. Thank you.
Now, online Forex has so much innovation behind it, but evidently there is one critical element which has not got the same force behind it. Can you tell us, which has not really been automated, can you tell us what this is?
Well, it's very funny. When you walk around here, you see wonderful technologies that automate probably the most of the process. But amazingly, there is one critical element that's left basically manual in this process, which is holding up the onboarding of new clients and the whole process. And that is the authentication and the processing of those pictures of IDs that customers must submit online for the purpose of authenticating their ID. Till now, what they're doing is basically having people, eyes, looking at it on computers and manually checking those images and getting the data in, which is quite a long process which holds customer acquisition and costs money, which doesn't need to be.
Okay, so then why is automating customer identification such a big deal, would you say?
Well, if it takes today something between 2 hours and 72 hours to accept a customer, with this system you can basically do it in 2 to 5 seconds completely automatically, which means A, you don't need that much investment in that huge compliance team you're holding there. B, you can actually respond to the client immediately inside the process if there's any issue, or if it's accept the green light, basically speed, fast track onboarding and start trading, which means you can win more customers more quickly. And that already takes compliance into the business development, customer acquisition area. That's interesting.
Indeed, it sounds interesting. Now, you mentioned there about speed. But is it just about efficient compliance, or is there something more to it?
Well, compliance is something you must do. You must invest in it. That's the law. These are regulations. But as a business, what you actually want to do is to make sure that out of each, let's say, 100 clients or applicants you have, you get on board as many as possible and don't lose them on the way. So this is about basically increasing your capacity to win more clients. So you do it because you start doing it because of the compliance bit, but you end up basically fast forwarding your business. So this is about growing business and not just about compliance. So it's a big deal because it's not just about not to spend money you don't have to, but actually the ability to win more money because you can fast forward customer onboarding.
So what would you say is lacking there? What is wrong with using data authentication or providers such as World Bank, for example?
Okay, you ask a great question because sometimes we are asked or we are being told, but we're using a certain data verification system like you mentioned WorldCheck, like Global Data Group, or there are others out there, which is a great thing to do because checking if someone actually exists, if there is an address out there which does exist, makes sense. But those databases cover only specific countries. In those countries, they have a certain level of updatedness. So even if you do use them, they cover only part of the market for which, if you don't have the data there, you don't have any solution. So what you're getting here is covering basically any part of your potential market and not being dependent on that updatedness. Notwithstanding, it will be a good idea to go out and do some more checks doing that part. But being able to authenticate more customers that you could with those only, and being able to have a far more fast system makes the whole package far more interesting.
Sounds very interesting. Ofer, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your insight with us today. It's been a pleasure.
Same here.
Thank you. Okay, well that's all from Ofer and myself for the moment, but make sure you keep clicking back to find out all the insider info from the IFX Expo 2014. Bye for now.